Hey y'all, it's Melissa at Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA. Thanks for joining me on our YouTube channel, Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. We love it when you join us here through our videos at our happy little homestead. And we love to show you the meat chickens that we raise, Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens. This is a show and tell and share Saturday. It's June 22nd, 2024. Gonna try to show you the flock that we have in production now, tell you about some data points that we've been analyzing and keeping track of with them, with feed consumption and with production length. And we do have a fun product that we actually enjoy in our household on a daily basis that is made in our region and can get you an online website link to that product. See if you might be interested in checking it out. And I'm going to tell you some about the channels that I've been watching, and I've been able to use intentionality and take up the pastime of reading just for enjoyment here again recently. I used to really take time to do that when my kids, who are now, our youngest one will be 17 next month, so we're basically in the 17 to 21 years old age range with our sons, and we homeschooled them. So when they were younger, you know, we were always going to the library. I was checking out books. When I had a little snatch of time, I would read for enjoyment. And as different seasons of life come and go and we got busy with other endeavors, then that kind of fell to the wayside. So I've been able to pick up reading again. So I'll tell you some books that I've enjoyed recently and one I'm reading now. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish in this show and tell and share Saturday. And the highlight of this one will be toward the end. I want to tell you about a project that my family did back in 2022. And I want to say now and preface that with wanting to share it with y'all, not as a bragging point, not in the presentation of look what we did, wanting to share it as an encouragement, a point of encouragement and an awareness point of how abundantly blessed so many of us are, that has nothing to do with excess financial wealth sitting around. So we'll get to that. So thanks for joining me. Really glad that you're here. Really glad that you're here. Hope you'll look up some of our other videos if you're new to our channel. We do have a core of viewers and subscribers that have been with us through the beginning and are still here, that we hear from regularly, interacting with our videos, and our heart goes out to y'all. Thank you so much for your time and effort supporting our channel. So glad you're here. We saw the subscribers climb a little, 905 earlier this week, 908 on the unofficial numbers this morning. So June 22nd, 2024. Welcome to Southeast Ohio, USA. Welcome to Twin Oaks Family Farm. We have a small poultry operation. We do have about 50 egg production hens actively laying, 12 young, soon-to-be egg production hens, and raising 1,600 Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens in 2024. Scheduled for starting 1,650, so rounding that off to 1,600. Right now, you're looking at a pen of 433 Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens. Next week's show and tell and share, we want to talk to you about dehydrated chicken feet. So we have a lot of chicken feet in production right now. 680, or no, I got my numbers backwards. 866 chicken feet running around this pen, right? But we do something special with those chicken feet. So we're going to plan on next week's show and tell and share Saturday on the farm, showing you those, talking about the specs of how we make them, and showing you what we do with them and who enjoys them so much. So at any rate, but 433 Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens in production here, 10 days old. So some cool data points. We're at overall per bird to raise a meat chicken from start to finish, talking about a 6-week time frame. We expect them to eat 10 pounds per bird. So we use that as a reference point, and we basically just multiply that out by however many birds we're going to raise at a time to know how much feed we need. And then we try to buy all the feed we need for the whole flock, start to finish, at one time, and have it on farm before the birds even move in, so that we know there's not going to be any interruption in these birds getting to eat and having the resources and getting the same food from start to finish and having that consistency. So that's how we handle feed. So in a flock of, we ordered 425, and we figured feed consumption on 400, so we got 4,000 pounds of feed before the flock moved in. So with them going out to 41 days, you do feed withdrawal 12 to 18 hours before you butcher birds, okay? And that helps the cleanliness and hygienic status of the processing. So we know that with them going to 41 days production, we're going to take feed away on day 40, okay? So they're 10 days old. So they are a fourth of the way through feed consumption time during production. They're 25% through their opportunity to eat, right? We bought 4,000 pounds of feed. As of today, we're almost to the end of bag 8. So 8 50-pound bags have been opened up for this flock. They've finished 7 of them. They're just about done with the 8th bag. So that's 400 pounds, okay? So for all purposes, we're saying as of day 10, and end of day 10, they will have finished 400 pounds of feed. So that's interesting because that's 10% of the total feed consumption that we expect them to eat, right? So 25% into production, they've consumed 10% of their food resource, and that's right on track. So so we're good with that, because what you end up seeing in these birds is they, in the beginning, take longer to go through a specific amount of feed than they will as they get into the middle of production and the end of production. So, for example, the first 50-pound bag of feed took them almost 4 days to consume. The second 50-pound bag of feed only took about 2 days, okay? And so, you know, we're probably at the point now where they're eating almost an entire 50-pound bag of feed daily. And we're going to get to a point, I'm sure, where they're eating at least 2 50-pound bags of feed daily. But we do expect that they will consume 4,000 pounds by day 40 when we pull feed away, okay? And we have it all here on grounds for them to eat. Now, a thing that could put them off of that is heat. So now we're at a point, time of year, where we're going to have hot days. It's feeling like 90 degrees Fahrenheit now. We also know temperature reference points for raising birds. 10 days old, they want it to be about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a little warm for them. We have one more coping mechanism as far as our barn to do to help them with. When we're done recording, I'm going to open up those doors there, and that will allow even more airflow and cross ventilation in here, and you'd be amazed. It's going to make it feel about 10 degrees cooler. So hopefully we'll get it feeling like the temperature that they want, okay? And then if it's going to get hotter, we have other measures we can use to help cool them down. We'll talk sometime in a video in the near future about using primitive homemade ice blocks to help provide cool spots for your birds. So we'll do that in another video. And you can remind me in comments sometime if a few days go by and you think I've forgotten it. But anyway, so we'll do that. But right now they're doing okay. They want to be about 85 degrees, and they're 10 days old. But by the time they're 14 days old, they're only going to want to be like 80 degrees. And looking at the forecast, we're still seeing 85 degrees to 90 degrees Fahrenheit when they're hitting that threshold. So we probably are going to have to continue some targeted cooling measures toward the birds, is what I'm thinking. But we want to show y'all a couple other things. So let's get right to that and tell you about a product that we like and enjoy that's made close to where we live. There's Gus, and it's a product that you can find online and have access to, and some of my things got knocked over here, so we'll get a little look-see peek at that. And there's Tanner right there. Okay, so there's my paperwork that I want. So first of all, the product I want to show you, okay, Cornerstone Homestead. So you can look up, I think online, it's actually at cornerstonenigeriangoats.com, okay? And I'll put a link in the comments. But Cornerstone Homestead, they make a lot of products, but they make this foaming goat milk hand soap. These are my two favorite smells, oatmeal vanilla and the rosemary mint, and they have lots to pick from. But you can actually look them up online and find that product. It's a wonderful product, leaves my hands really soft, feeling clean, and just light scent that's not overwhelming or overbearing. Really, really like those. So you could look that up online. CornerstoneNigerianGoats.com, I think is what it's at, and they sell under their label Cornerstone Homestead. But where I live, I can actually go to a farm market called Huck's Farm Market. That's also my last name, but it's a different branch of the Huck families. But I can actually go there and get this because they carry it there. But it can also be accessed online. I think it routes you to an Etsy shop. I don't know a whole lot about that, but it is there. It's accessible, and that's a great product. And it's a natural, as far as I know, a natural product, and it's made from things they produce on their farm, from the goat milk. They raise goats, so among other things. So check that out. Okay, so that's one thing we want to share with y'all. And before we get to, those guys are taking it easy. Before we get to this last thing, really important to me, I want to show you that. So I wanted to tell you some of YouTube channels and a couple books that I've been enjoying, because it has been with some intention to be able to get back to doing that, to taking time to just read for enjoyment as a pastime. But YouTube channels, recently I've had great suggestions from our viewers. Hope you'll continue to add suggestions in the comment threads. What are YouTube channels you enjoy? What content are you looking for in YouTube videos? And put those out there, and as a community, you know, if we see one that piques our interest, we can check into it. But on the other hand, so I've enjoyed looking up some of the ones that viewers have shared with me. Please continue to do that. On the other hand, I like what I like, and I get used to what I get used to, and I don't really seek out a lot of change. So I'm sticking with my standbys that I've been telling y'all about. Please check out, if you haven't, Farmer Always out of Canada, Chimma's Chicken Coop out of Germany, and Hi Miss Family Farm, United States of America. I enjoy seeing their videos, and a lot of good video work, and seeing constant gaining of skills in their video work. And it's really exciting to see, you know, because I admire their skill sets, because I mean, it's a wonder I can do what I'm doing with a video on my cell phone camera and put something together. But we love to share you this content of how real food is produced, how real meat can be produced from small livestock, and how there is a difference between real food, real meat, and things that are being presented to us as meat that are actually meat-like products out in the mainstream. So we want to continually be honing that skill set of differentiating between what's real food and what are food-like products that are just highly processed and prettily packaged, and trying to just catch our appeal based on packaging and sugary carbohydrate type flavorings. Okay, instead, you know, we want to be able to differentiate what's the real food, what's really nourishing to my body. So real meat from real animals really is nourishing and supportive of our body's growth and cell repair and functioning and immune system. So we want to keep a lot of these things in mind, that just because something is packaged up pretty and presented like a food doesn't mean that it's good for us, and we need to distinguish if it's a real food or a food-like product, and make a decision based on that as far as if we want to eat it and consume it. So check out those channels if you haven't, and I will put their links in the comments here. Again, Farmer Always from Canada, cattle ranch up there, beautiful scenery too, and shows us the workings of the ranch. Chimma's Chicken Coop in Germany shows us the chickens, the flock in their coop that they have, hens and roosters, baby chicks hatching. And that channel has hit a milestone recently, was working toward 500 subscribers and reached that milestone, and is growing still. So, and then Hi Miss Family Farm, variety of videos. I've been watching videos that they have about hatching eggs and chicks, but there's other content on there too, so check them out. and very, all three of those, the interaction on their comment threads, my impression, very caring people. So anyway, kind of building community on their channels as well. But also, so that's the channels. Books. Let me tell you about a couple books. Right now I'm reading Kill 'Em with Cayenne, like the seasoning, Kill 'Em with Cayenne. Author is Gail, Oust. I'm really liking the book. I was even hesitant about, even though I checked it out, about starting to read it, because I was like, I don't want something gory and it's going to make me feel negative after I read it. No, this is great. It's like a mystery, like you would watch like a mystery show on TV that's done in like a series, you know. I like it, and the writing is witty and entertaining and easy to understand, and it has great flow through the storytelling. I love it, so I'm really enjoying it. I hope I still love it at the end, but so far I'm enjoying it. Kill 'Em with Cayenne by Gail Oust, and I guess it's actually the second in a series, so I got to find out what the first one was. I'll go back and read it, is my impression so far. So that's one. And then another one, I'm going to turn the camera so you can look at something more interesting than just somebody talking. But another one that I read recently that I really did like, didn't necessarily agree with everything, every position the author held, but really liked the overall story, based on a true story. It's about a dog, doesn't end sad. It has a little bit of sad in the beginning, but it doesn't end sad. It has a nice happy ending. That made it a winner for me. It was Following Atticus. Following Atticus is the name of the book. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the author. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess this one. I think the author was Tom Ryan. I could be wrong. I'm going to look it up, make sure I put the correct author in the comments, but I'll put that reference in the comments too. Want to show you this. This is a bird showing us heat coping. So it's got its wings held up, and it turned away from me, so now you can't see that, but it's panting. But look what else it's doing. It's going to water, and that's exactly what we want to see when our birds are dealing with warmth and heat. We want to see them go and get in a drink of water. Okay, so that's good, and that's why we have water everywhere. You guys see that there's waters everywhere throughout this pen? That's why. Even though we like these 5-gallon waters, we're going to still put these single-gallon waters everywhere, because we want it to be so easy for them to go to water that when they get warm, there's one right within sight that's easy for them to walk to, and they'll go to it. As long as the water's there, they'll go to it. So we need to keep the water there for them. Okay, so they are going to be coping with heat. They're going to be happy when I get those doors open. The other thing I'm going to be doing is putting these pine shavings down. 2 new bags of pine shavings. We'll prioritize putting it around the feeders and waters, because they pack those areas down a lot, and we don't want those areas to become hard and packed. If they become hard and packed, then when they manure on it, it'll lay on top and it'll become slick. And we also never ever want a slick footing around our meat birds, because that's really hard on their legs. So we'll make sure that we prioritize fresh bedding around the feeders and waters. And then everywhere else that we can put the fresh bedding, that will also produce a cooling effect initially before they manure much on it, because it'll have a dry feeling and it'll be loose and dusty, and they can dust bathe into it, and that helps cool them down as well. Okay, so we got that going on. So last thing I want to tell you about, this is going to wrap up our show and tell and share. Back in 2022, we knew that we were starting to market the meat from our meat birds, and we knew that we wanted to expand that. And we know that we've been so blessed. Most of our family life, we have needed to make our household work basically on a single active income, because we intentionally wanted a parent in the home full-time, and we wanted to homeschool. And so in order to do that in the way that we wanted to, it was going to require somebody, one of us, my husband or I, to take that on as our full-time work. Okay, so his away from home work was already very well established and was supporting the household well, and my work away from home was supplementing that. So we recognized that with a lot of intentionality, with budgeting, making certain adjustments, we could make it work on the one active income. But then he also took on a part-time business on the side. In addition to his work week, full-time work week, he took on a part-time business on the side, pouring concrete and building small buildings, even metal buildings, garages, things like that. He could do concrete projects and construction projects, okay? So that supplemented the one active income, and that allowed us to do that. So we arrive at, 2021, and we're kind of at this juncture where our kids are older, we're still homeschooling, but, that season of life has changed, and they are able to be much more independent learners than when you're starting with young children, just elementary age in homeschool. So, and they're in a lot more activities at that point. And we're starting to change, the financial picture in the household, maybe in adding some income streams. And we acknowledged between my husband and I at that point that we didn't want to just jump into that and just make it all about us. We wanted to start with a significant charitable project that was a big effort from our family. And so something we had always wanted to do was to give a big donation of about $4,900, $5,000. That was the money point because of what the project is. We wanted to give a big donation to a large charitable organization that already had a program in place where it partnered that donation with another donation the same size and took that money to build a solid shelter dwelling with running water and some electricity in it for a family like, say, in Central America, Latin America, so that a family that maybe before that would not have had a shelter, a real physical dwelling, would have that then. Okay, so that's what we wanted to do. So about December of 21, we were discussing what big charitable project could we be a part of. And my husband said, can we do that? Are we in a position to do that? And I said, we can't take that out of the household budget. We still need to stay current. We still need to pay our bills. We still need to save. We still have to manage this budget financially. I said, I don't think we can do it by ourselves. So he kind of took that like I was saying we can't do it. And I went on to say, but, this is no different than all these organizations do fundraisers all the time. What if I work at it? What if we work together? I'm willing to work at organizing sales. What if we do a different sale every month and ask for donations in exchange for useful products, useful items every month? And what if we just set targets and try to bring in money incrementally, and by the end of the year, hopefully we have met that goal. And so that idea was kind of received with a little skepticism, but the family said, well, okay, we can try it. So we planned out the year, and we decided to make items such as gift presentations in mason jars, quart jars of soup mixes. Potato soup mix was one. Of cookie mixes, strawberry cookies, oatmeal cookies were some. We also made Christmas ornaments that were cinnamon scented. We also made hand scrubs. We also made bath soaks and packaged those up and put them out in places around our community. Our community had different shopkeepers and stores actually let us put the items there and put a flyer there, and they actually accepted donations on our behalf and would let us come pick them up. And so that was basically the gist of the project. And what I had said to my family, we can't do it on our own. But we can organize a project and involve the two communities right here where we live that are just across the river from each other. And we can try to meet this goal, and we can let all them be a part of it too. And so let me show you some documentation that reflects the outcome of it. And then we'll wrap up just sharing why I wanted to tell you about it, okay? So, this is one thing. I'm going to close this folder up, actually, okay? So, this was one thing. One of the projects is to donate money that gets partnered with the same amount from someone else to build a house. Okay, so this is a picture from their literature from Food for the Poor of a family before. Okay, a 4-year-old and her 3 brothers living in a home built from coconut palm leaves and tree branches in the northern part of Haiti with their mom. One of the children's bed was a straw mat on a hard dirt floor. Dirt floor. Dirt floor. Think about it. My chickens live on a dirt floor. And I'm reading you literature about a little girl that was sleeping on a straw mat on a dirt floor. She often woke up with her legs bitten by ants and rats. And if it rained, they had to find a dry area and stand there until the rain stopped. My chickens are living in a building that never gets flooded. They don't have to worry about their floor being a puddle and having to vacate it or find high ground until the rain stops and the water recedes. And this family had to do that. If it rained, they would have to find a dry area and stand there until it stopped. Thanks to loving compassion and generosity of donors to Food for the Poor, this family rejoiced that they could now sleep peacefully each night in a sturdy home. And this is an after. And it is more than just a house. A water system, clean water component for drinking, cooking, bathing, and cleaning. Sanitation, a bathroom inside the home, provides hygienic sanitation and privacy for family members. And furniture, interior furnishings included as necessary to make the house a home. Okay, so this is a folder that Food for the Poor sent us in 2023. Remember I said we did this? We talked about it December of 21. We did the project throughout 2022. It took all year of 2022 and the work in the community for us to build up the money. And then we received this in 2023. Matthew 25:40. As often as you did it to one of the least of my brothers and sisters, you did it to me. Well, I can't catch up with them. Somebody's home. And I've gotten stuff all over that. Okay, but I need to preface this with, it wasn't just us, it was our communities. Food for the Poor gratefully acknowledges Mr. and Mrs. Jared Huck, and that should say, and the communities of Beverly, Ohio and Waterford, Ohio, for exceptional generosity in providing the gift of new life for the James family of Guyana. Okay, and so, hey Drew, he can't hear me, but Drew's home, and Whale's home. Hi fellas, will you say hi to the camera quick? Hi camera. There's Tanner and Gus. Okay, so this is what our donation went toward, what our community's donation went toward. As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Want to share this letter with you. I'm gonna take the camera around the pen as I'm reading this letter that we got in March of 23 from Food for the Poor. And while we're doing this, I want to ask you to also think about, what's your dream home? What's your dream home? Well, mine would be a Civil War era stone house. That would be my dream home. I don't live in a house like that. I do live in a nice wood frame construction house. It's about 30 foot by 40 foot big with a finished basement under it, cedar siding and a metal roof. That's what I live in. And I love it. And it's a peaceful place. And I'm okay with that being my real life home. Okay? So, but think about it. What's your dream home? What's the home you're actually living in? And what if you had to live in the equivalent of this barn? You know, yes, it's okay for my livestock. But what if you and your family had to live in the equivalent of this barn? What if you had to live in something similar to this barn, but without electricity and without running water, and that didn't keep you safe from flooding? And knowing that that's some of the conditions that there are people living in, right? Dear Jared and Melissa, and again, this is, as far as I'm concerned, directed to our entire communities here, the town that we live in and the town next door. I'm beyond grateful for your selfless gift of $4,900, which was matched by another generous friend of Food for the Poor. Because of your kindness through the recent fall housing campaign, a desperate family who had been struggling to survive now has a place to build a new life. A 2-bedroom home with a living area, sanitation, a water component, a cooking area, a sink, furnishings, lighting, and structural elements to withstand severe weather conditions. My gratitude for your sincere generosity cannot be measured. I hope the enclosed portfolio with a photo of the family whose lives you have transformed helps you begin to understand how much your thoughtfulness is appreciated. Your sacrifice brings renewed hope for the future to a place where hope has been in short supply. We all need a place to lay our heads in peace, and thanks to you, one more family is now protected with sturdy walls and a waterproof roof able to withstand bad weather, quite unlike the tarp, metal sheets, sticks, and strings that often form the homes of impoverished families. They also now have real floors that don't turn to mud when it rains and secure doors that lock. Your willingness to furnish a secure, strong, and solid base for a family in need of one is touching, and it is my privilege to thank you. Truly, you have given this family space to grow that they never have before. May God bless you with the same joy you have so generously provided. Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. United in God's work, Ed Rain, President and CEO of Food for the Poor. So, as I said, I share that as just a point of awareness of we are abundantly blessed, even when we find things challenging or we feel that there's some physical lacking, that having something else would make better. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. And regardless of that, we're abundantly blessed. We're abundantly blessed. And so that point of awareness, and also a point of encouragement, that if you feel led towards some kind of charitable act or participating in a charitable program, even if it seems overwhelming and impossible, analyze the possibilities. Maybe there's a way to accomplish it. Maybe it'll take a long time. Maybe it'll be difficult. Maybe it'll take you being the only one that believes in it for a while. Maybe it'll just take a lot of persistence. But if you feel led towards some charitable endeavor, good fruit will come of that. Place it in God's hands. Work as if it all depends on you. Pray as if it all depends on Him. And keep going. And good fruit will come of it.